Start here, Star Citizen. This is a new player guide and quick start tutorial for returning players for Star Citizen Alpha 3.10. From signing up, completing your first mission, to interacting with the world and buying things, you'll be able to start the game knowing the basics. What is Star Citizen? Star Citizen is a playable alpha that receives major updates every 3 months. It plans to be an FPS space sim MMO, though at the moment servers are limited to 50 concurrent players each, and at this stage player feedback massively helps triage bugs and evolve gameplay mechanics. You can play it now, all you need is an account, which you can get via the Enlist link down below, and a $45 game package. There are also a few free fly events throughout the year that allow you to play for free for a week or so to try out the game. For your game package, you have a choice between an Aurora MR or a Mustang Alpha. I would recommend the Mustang Alpha to start with. You can upgrade your purchase later if you want, but you'll be able to get everything in-game at some point in the future. Grab a launcher and download the game. I highly recommend you install it on an SSD, as this will help with initial loading times. Once you're in the game, from the main menu, select Universe and you'll be able to create your character. You can edit this later if you're not quite happy with how you look now. There are a choice of 3 locations under Spaceports for your starting spawn: New Babbage at Microtech, Area 18 at ArcCorp, and Lorville at Hurston. New Babbage is the newest area to be added, so let's go there. Get out of bed by pressing Y. This will also get you out of any seating such as cockpits or chairs. WASD, that's going to move you around. Left control toggles crouch and space jumps. Open the door by tapping F for a quick action, or you can interact with the world by holding F and left clicking on the option that you want to do from a list that is presented to you. While holding F, nearby objects will have orange outlines. These are objects that you can interact with. As you head out the door, have a look through the window. That is the spaceport we're going to be travelling to. Walk over to the elevator nearby, interact with it, and select Lobby. If a panel has more options than can be displayed, you can use the mouse wheel to move through the options. You can also access a personal inner thought menu, or PIT, by holding F and right-clicking. This gives you access to certain actions which are context-specific, changing whether you're on foot, in a pilot seat, or in a vehicle. These actions include emotes, weapon customizations, removal of your helmet, or access to valuables and food that you've gathered in your personal inventory. Each action is also shown with its relevant keybind where applicable, and keys can also be rebound from that menu. The menu will save your most used actions as favourites on the main wheel. When moving around on foot, you can use the mouse wheel to change your movement speed, wheel up to go faster, wheel down to go slower, and you can also use shift to run at max speed. Spawning your ship. We're going to travel to the spaceport to spawn your ship. The area should be relatively well signposted, and we're going to be heading to the MT Metro Loop to catch a train to the spaceport. You may need to wait a moment or two for the train to arrive, then you get off at the first stop and then take the elevator to the NBIS terminal. After a long corridor and some customs gates, you'll get to a main spaceport lobby. Enter the hangar area there, which is signposted, and interact with the vehicle retrieval terminal to select your ship and spawn it. These are also known as ASOP terminals. These terminals can also be used to reclaim your ship if you ever lose them, if it's at a different station, or even if it's destroyed. Once spawned, it will tell you what pad or hangar your ship's on. If you forget, you can check the terminal again. Head over to the nearby lifts. These will be able to take you where your ship has been spawned. Approach your ship and find where the entry door or ladder is. On single-seat fighters like the Mustang Alpha, this is normally on the port or left side by the cockpit. Different ships can have different entry points. Some have entry points at the rear of the ship or even hatches underneath the cockpit. Interact with the relevant area and enter the cockpit. Once you're in the pilot seat, you can flight ready your ship with R or by interacting with it and finding the appropriate button. You'll then want to request a takeoff. Press F1 to open your Mobiglass, select Comlink, the Friends tab, and then click the appropriate air traffic control. In this case, it's the one for New Babbage International Spaceport. Wait for them to confirm your request, then close your Mobiglass with F1 again. The door or roof will open and you'll be able to leave. Basic ship movement. Basic ship controls are space to go up, left control to go down, W to accelerate, S to decelerate or reverse. A and D will strafe left and right. You want to press space to take off and then maneuver your ship very gently out of the hangar. Once you have left your hangar, get clear of the area, as ramming people or blocking landing zones can be a criminal offence. New to 3.10 are flight corridors as well. So some landing zones, specifically at Lawville on Hurston and Area 18 on ArcCorp, will require you to approach and leave using flight corridors, which will appear after you've requested a landing or takeoff. If you veer off these, you'll get a warning and an autopilot might pull you back. Try to stay in the flight corridor until you've exited the other side. Take a second to get to grips with your ship. Left shift is afterburner, Q and E will roll your ship, X is space brake and very useful, N will toggle your landing gear, and C is cruise control, allowing your ship to attempt to get to and maintain the set speed on the left of your ship HUD, which you control with your mouse wheel. When your speed bar is in the red section of the gauge, you are above safe maneuvering speeds. It will take you longer to slow down, you'll find your ship less responsive to turning. By all means, if you have a long way to go, go fast, but when you're near obstacles or near your destination, make sure you slow down. If you find yourself in a ship with a VTOL, vertical takeoff and landing engine, that points downwards, then pressing K will change the thruster orientation of your ship. Have a fly around and look for the large building with the hole in the centre. That's the HAB block we spawned in at earlier. Missions. Let's select a mission. You'll want to be appropriately prepared, equipped, or at least have the right ship for the mission that you pick. For now, we're going to choose some more starter type missions for our Mustang Alpha. Missions are accessible from the Moby-Glass Contracts Manager. The General tab has lawful missions that regularly get updated and will change based on your location. The Personal tab might have less legal missions or ones more personalised to your current situation. For the purposes of being simple and avoiding prison, I recommend looking at the general missions to start with. Delivery, search and maintenance missions will typically require you to have a ship with cargo space. Avoid these for now. Service beacons can be from a player or NPC, typically having you transport a player or providing combat assistance. Investigation missions, this will have you trying to find bodies of NPCs in caves or derelicts. These can be quite long and disorientating to new players though. Bounty hunter missions require you to complete a starter mission that can be quite far away, but it's worth doing at some point as it opens up bounties in your local area. Mercenary missions are focused on Combat 2. Illegal monitor missions will require you to scan and find and destroy probes. I recommend doing the Pro-Tem bounty contract. It will give you a sense of the travel times and then allow you to do more bounties afterwards. Always read the mission description. If the distances are hundreds of thousands of kilometers away, that's alright. That's actually quite close. If it's tens of millions, that's pretty far. Some missions are going to be very hard. Try avoiding missions with 10,000 plus Alpha UEC rewards until you're ready. You can see any accepted missions and change the tracked ones in the accepted tab. Starmap and quantum jumping. When you are travelling a long distance to missions or anywhere else, you'll want to quantum travel. Open your Moby-Glass, select the Skyline app. Here you can double left click to zoom in or double right click to zoom out, or you can use the mouse wheel. Zoom out and find the mission marker, should be quite obvious. Click it and select set destination. You can only select and set a destination while you are in your ship. You'll need to be above a certain altitude before you can quantum jump, so travel upwards out of the atmosphere. Press B to spool up your quantum drive, then align to the marker on your HUD. The drive will spool and calibrate. Once these are completed, hold B to quantum travel. Your drive will charge up, accelerate, and then you'll jump. You may have to make several quantum jumps based on where your final location is. If you are traveling a very long distance, you might have to stop at a refueling station. If you don't have enough fuel for a jump, it will show as red on the star map. You can also quantum travel without choosing a location on your star map. You just press B, and then you can align to one of the locations on your HUD. Security forces may stop and scan you. Stop and listen to them, otherwise you'll get in trouble. Pirates might attack you as well during a quantum jump. You'll need to run from them or deal with them before being able to quantum travel again. Basic ship combat. When you engage in combat, you'll be able to see nearby enemies on your radar. Pointing your reticle at a target or looking at it will select and highlight it, but you're going to want to lock a target to get combat information and be able to accurately fire at it. Pressing T will lock the currently highlighted target. If you have nothing selected though, that will cycle through eligible targets in your view and lock them. You can lock onto the nearest attacker that is locked onto you by pressing 4. 5 will cycle through all hostiles based on range, the closest first, whether they have you locked or not. Left Alt and 4 or 5 will target the closest attacker or hostile, respectively. Pressing left Alt and 1, 2 or 3 will pin a target under that number, and then pressing 1, 2 or 3 will lock that pinned target. Left click fires weapon group 1, right click fires weapon group 2. You'll want to aim at the pip, the predicted impact point marker that's drawn off the enemy. The aiming is reasonably forgiving in Alpha 3.10. You can cycle fire modes with G, from fixed, which fires straight forwards, manual gimbals, which aims where your mouse cursor is aimed if you have gimbaled weapons, or auto gimbal, which is a light auto aim that will attempt to track a target for you. I recommend engaging below the red speeds and firing within 1,000 to 2,000 meters to start with. Different weapons do have different ranges, but smaller weapons are typically meant to be used within 2,500 meters. You can interact with your ship's systems in the personal inner thought menu, or with hotkeys, or literally just interacting with it by holding F. You can do things like put more power to shields, overclock ship systems, or turn them off completely. In larger ships, you'll be able to have other players manning your guns or managing your systems as well. If you have missiles, the middle mouse button will lock on. Hold it to fire when fully locked. J will cycle countermeasures, flare for IR missiles, and chaff for EM missiles. H fires those countermeasures. You'll get a missile warning and an indicator on your HUD if a missile is after you. Get used to firing off a couple of the appropriate countermeasures quite early on. Try to keep moving while in combat and change speeds often, but remember, when you go into the red bar for speed, you're going to be more sluggish agility-wise. And watch out for asteroids. They do not discriminate against who can crash into them. Some missions will require you to engage in first-person combat. You can leave your chair and, in a single-seater fighter, your cockpit by pressing Y. If this is in space, you'll be able to fly around in EVA mode, extravehicular activity mode. When entering an area with gravity, you want to make sure you orientate yourself or you're going to collapse to the floor, possibly taking damage or even dying. The rest plays pretty much like most other FPS games. 1, 2 and 3 will switch weapons, 0 will pull out your fists for melee, middle mouse will do a takedown if available, T is flashlight, and X is crawl. Tapping R will reload if you have extra magazines equipped, and holding R will holster your weapon or your fists. C will use a medipen if equipped. Those will save your life. Magazines and medpens will need to be re-equipped before you can use them again, and you can buy multiples of these at FPS gear stores. Scanning for ships and signatures. Some missions and mechanics require you to scan. You can toggle scanning mode by pressing Tab. Holding right click in that mode will charge up a ping. When you release it, boop, this will show a cube where a signature has been detected. So if you're looking for mineable ships or data probes, this is going to help. Once you are close enough to the signature, this should be passively detected by your radar, and if it's a ship, it will be selectable or targetable. Also, while in scanning mode, you can hover your reticle over a ship and hold left click to scan it for more information. Dying and respawning. If you die for any reason, you will respawn at the last major location you visited, in an ICU or prison if you were naughty. You can set your ICU intensive care unit spawn point on certain ships' medibeds, such as the Cutlass Red, the A90 Jump, or the Carrack. If your ship is lost or destroyed, or you just want to move it to your current location, you will need to reclaim it from the ASOP terminal. This can take a few minutes, or you can choose to pay an expedited fee to have it quicker. Good practice is to reclaim your ships just before you log off. When you log back in, you will spawn at the last major location you visited, or in a bed on a ship if you use the log out interaction after lying down in one. If you are stuck and on foot, you can hold backspace to respawn, or you can use the personal inner thought menu to do that. If you are in the main seat of a ship, backspace will set the self-destruct. Rearm, refuel and repair. When you're finished with your mission, you can return to New Babbage on Microtech if you want, or a nearby landing zone or station. Each planet has a nearby space station which you can set as a destination. Port Tressler is the station above Microtech. Everest Harbour is the station above Hurston. Just like when you took off, you'll also need to request a landing. When you get within a few hundred meters of the station, open your Mobi glass and contact the ATC. They will assign you a landing pad, toggle your landing gear down, and then you can manually land if you want, or if you're extremely close to the pad, you can hold N and it will auto land you. When landed, you can make use of a landing zone services to maintain and rearm your ship. Open Mobiglass and click on the Vehicle Maintenance Services, the upside down spanner. Your quantum fuel is limited and often used, so make sure you refuel that whenever you can. Smaller refuel stations can be found at various asteroid cluster Lagrange points on the star map, marked with CRU, HUR, ARC, etc., though not all of these points contain stations. Check your star map. Buying items, loadouts and survival. Shops at landing zones and stations will be able to outfit your character and ships. The Equipment Manager app on the Mobiglass will let you equip items, guns and armour. The Utility tab has slots for medical consumables, oxygen consumables and utility items. You'll get different slots with different armours equipped, including slots for grenades and more weapons. Make sure to wear an undersuit and helmet when going anywhere where there may be a lack of oxygen. Fortunately, these are on by default. Too much heat or cold can kill your character, though you'll get a warning and a countdown to your death. There are armours to protect better from more extreme conditions, like the Novikov armour which you can buy at Port Tressler. You'll be able to see your status in the bottom left of the HUD, and you can even go into the personal inner thought menu to see more details on your status and survival time. Also, you may need to clear your vision when outside. You can wipe your visor with Alt and X. Food courts can be found around stations and landing zones, and you'll need to eat and drink to stay alive. You can stow some food and drink on your character and access it again via the personal inner thought inventory. You will need to remove your helmet to consume though, just don't forget to put it back on afterwards. Consuming food and drink can give you buffs, but also not drinking or eating for a long time will give you blurry vision and eventually you'll die. You can customise your ship with gear that you can purchase at various shops like Centre Mass, Dumpers Depot or Platinum Bay, found around landing zones. This is done via the Vehicle Loadout Manager on the Mobiglass. Make customisations before you spawn your ship for the changes to actually show. You cannot currently customise rented ships. You can also buy ships in-game from New Deal at Lorville, Astro Armada at Area 18 and Teachers at Levski. I recommend you aim to earn enough money to buy an Avenger Titan. The Titan will allow you to do cargo missions and trade, as well as being a more powerful fighter. What else is there to do? Teaming up and playing together is a massive part of Star Citizen. You can add friends from the main menu or from the RSI website if you know the player's handle. If you found a new friend in game, you can add them from the user list in the comlink tab by right-clicking on their name and then selecting send friend request. You can create and join friends in groups either on the main menu or in game, and then you can share missions with your group. There is a lot of exploration to be done, caves, planets, moons, outposts, space stations, and there are Easter eggs and cool bits to find. There are a few different mission types to try, and some more specialist ones from mission givers that will contact you via the personal mission tab. You can gather harvestables and eat them or sell them at appropriate trade consoles. If you have the appropriate ship, then you can buy and sell cargo. There are various types of mining by hand, ship, or vehicle. This is a whole other topic, which I will get a specific video on later. There is a player trading app, which will allow you to send Alpha UEC, the in-game currency, or merits, the prison currency, to another player, whether they are offline or on a different server. You can literally search for their name in the app, but make sure you have the right person, because once it's sent, it's gone. Feel free to send your Alpha UEC or merits to BoredGamer UK if you want to test the feature, but it's probably best you keep your money for yourself. If you wish to explore the darker side of Star Citizen, check out some of the personal missions. The Price of Freedom mission will have you assaulting a ship and performing some investigation work, but could lead to you going to prison. There is a whole criminality and fining system. What is legal or illegal is dependent on the jurisdiction that you're in, and you can see more details of that in your journal from the Mobiglass. Crimes need to be detected in range of a comm array, denoted by the little satellite symbol at the top right of your HUD. However, attacking security forces anywhere is a criminal offence. Some crimes will just leave you with fines, and you can find fines and citation payment systems around landing zones. Failure to pay a fine can lead to more fines and criminal ratings. Criminal ratings can have security forces and even players actively engaging you. If you find yourself in prison, you can use a hand mining tool to gather materials, or you can repair oxygen machines to give you merits, which will help pay off your time. You can just wait for your sentence to elapse. You can check the central console in the centre of the prison to see how long you've got left and how much time you've served. Once you've served your time, you can leave via the lifts, which are clearly marked. Alternatively, you can try and find a way to escape. Player feedback and bug reporting. Star Citizen is very much an alpha game, so you will probably encounter bugs. You can report new bugs or add to existing ones via the Issue Council on the RSI website. There are also threads on the RSI Spectrum forums for feedback. Your interaction and voice matters to this game's development. If you are looking for some more hands-on tutorials or help from players, then there is a personal guide system which has you paired up with another player that can teach you how to play the game in-game. I also have a performance guide on my website which should help some players. Something else to note is that the game is very much still a work in progress, and progress and assets can be wiped sometimes between major patches. However, the devs are trying to preserve players' earned assets and alpha UEC where possible. You will not lose the items that you have purchased with real money. If you have any questions, then please leave them in the comments. Also, go check out the rest of my channel, and there are links for more Star Citizen information guides and everything we talked about down below as well. If you want to further support my channel, then consider becoming a YouTube member via the join button. This will also get you some exclusive content and insight each month. Also, if you're looking for a VPN, I shill for NordVPN. It's a mega affordable and effective solution for added security, privacy, and internet accessibility. Follow the link below in the description for a discount. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the verse.